Hello everybody, Max with A1 Website Pro here, and today we're going to be talking about the post method when you're using your forms. So for example, if I type in Faith right here and I hit submit, you'll notice that it comes over here Faith McCullough, and that's being brought in with a function that we used in an earlier lesson. But notice up here at the URL, there is no parameters being passed in the URL, and that's what post is all about. And then we reveal the results in PHP7. So without further ado, let's get started. Form processing in PHP7 using the post method is much like using the get method. So in this video lesson, I am using the post method, and I'm going to show you some code examples. In programming code, you will be using the post method more than you'll use the get method. The difference between post and get in form processing is that the get action reveals the parameters in the URL string, but the post method carries the parameters in the body, thereby making it more secure. So another difference is that you cannot upload files with the get method, but you can with post. Alright, so let's fire up our XAMPP server and make sure that it's running, and you can see that I have mine running here. If I hit go to application, I'm going to modify the URL to go to my website. And for those of you that are just joining us, if you go to the link in the description of this video, you can download these files so you can follow along if you're just joining us. If those of you that are learning, I also put the files online there from the last lesson if you want to practice coding, and also the complete files are on the post as well, so if you just want to look at the code. Okay, so there's our XAMPP server fired up. We have our website fired up. Let's go to the Dreamweaver, and I'm going to fire up the do page just like this. And then whenever I get here, I'm just going to go to File and then hit Save As, and we're going to call this my form. Okay, myform.php. And when I hit save, it's going to ask me if I can view it, and there I have it. All right, so we'll go ahead and create a form in this page. We're going to take everything else out of here because I want to start it from the top, from the very beginning. Okay, so I'm going to leave the header and the footer.php in there. But let's give it some separation for the video's sake. And I'm going to go here to line 3, and I'm going to start with the form tag. Okay, now you already know that this is the form tag, the beginning and the closing. And then inside here we can have attributes. And if we were going to use the attribute with the get method like in the last lesson, it would be type method equals, and then we would have get in the quotes. Okay, that's the same thing as having it this way, just form, because the get method is the default function, and that's why it worked in the last lesson. But now it's important for me to teach you this method here, and because we have to put post in there. Okay, so that's post, and that tells the HTTP protocol that you're using the post action on this form. Okay, the other thing that we didn't talk about last time that is an automatic default is the action attribute. So if I type in action here, you'll notice I get equals in the quotes, and it's asking me, Dreamweaver's asking me what page do I want to put it on. But if I just leave it blank like that, that's the default action. That means it's going to submit this form to the exact same page. And by the way, this is a more secure way to do it whenever you submit it to the same page. But let's say that I wanted to send it over to processing.php. Now I don't have a processing file here ready, but let's see what's going on here. We have a form tag, and the method is we're going to use post instead of the get. And the action is processing.php. So we have to make a processing.php file. So let's open up our do page here. We'll go up here, File, Save As, and we'll say processing.php, and I'll hit Save. And then I want to view the file. I could close out the do page up here so I don't get confused, and I'm going to take everything out except the header and the footer in this page too. Okay? Now, notice I don't have the 3 elements that we talked about last time in a form on the My Form page. So let's go ahead and put those elements in, shall we? So we need an input, and then we're going to make that type be text. And we have to name it, so let's give it a name. Let's use, like we used last time, fname for the first name, and then we could close out that input type. The next thing that we will need is the input type of submit. Okay, and then we're not going to put a name on that, because remember, if I put a name on this thing, then the name is going to carry whatever value. There will be a value in here just because of the name, and we don't want to do that. Okay, we're just going to put input type submit, and then we will have a value, which is, or not, I'm sorry, not the value. Oh yes, we will have value, sorry. And this is just going to be the name of the button, submit. All right. So there we go. That is a complete form, and it's going to take whatever variable or parameter. Okay, think of parameters like variables now. It's going to take whatever variables in that fname, because the fname becomes the variable, and it's going to submit it to this processing.php file. So let me go ahead and save that. We'll open up our Chrome browser, and we'll, at the end of the URL, we'll type in myform.php. All right. Now here, if we let's type in, we'll type in my name, submit. Now it goes to processing.php, which is another form. This is kind of strange. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't save the file. So that little asterisk up there shows that I didn't save the file. So let's go ahead and do that again. Let me click the back button, and we'll enter my name again, Maximus, and then hit submit. And now you notice there's nothing that shows up but the date, because the date is in the footer. So let me show you the old way in which and how we got the post variables in PHP, and then I'll show you the new way. So let's go ahead and type in PHP. We would go if open parenthesis is set, open parenthesis. Now you notice how it's automatically closing my parentheses there. So you got to make sure that you're closing your parentheses. But Dreamweaver automatically closes them for me. So I'm going to type in $_ post, and then I'm going to put open and square brackets. Inside there, I'm looking for fname. Okay. Now, if that is set, we want to start with our curly brackets right there. And inside here, I'm going to type echo, and then we'll have our post variable with the square brackets, and then we want to have the 2 single quotes fname. Okay, and then at the end of there, I have to put in a terminator. We'll put a terminator on the end there, and then we'll close out our PHP tag. Okay, now let's see if that gets us the post variable result. So let me go ahead and go back to my form. Maximus is already entered in there. Let me hit submit. And now I have a syntax error on line 2. Okay, so you see what's going on here? For some reason, there is a semicolon inside that square bracket. So let me save that. And what we'll do is we'll refresh the page. And this will show you something else. We're already on the processing.php. If I hit refresh, it's going to resend those variables as if I'm submitting the form. So, and it's going to ask me if I want to resubmit the form. We'll say OK. And we see here I have another syntax error, unexpected curly bracket. Sometimes when Dreamweaver tries to help out, it kind of screws me up a little bit. Let's take out the curly bracket here. We need the curly bracket on the other side, and then a terminator. So we could see that syntax. I typed in extra stuff that I didn't need because of the code hinting. I'm still getting used to this. It's a good feature. I'll hit refresh again, hit continue, and now you can see my name, Maximus, along with the date there. Okay? So I know you guys like to see me make mistakes, so you can see how to correct them, and I think that's a good way to go, so I'll just leave this kind of stuff in the video. Okay, now the other thing that we can do is when we echo the first name is we could put it in p tags, but since I'm going to show you the new way to do it in PHP, I'm just going to comment this out, and in the new way we'll put the paragraph tags in. So let's go ahead and put PHP again, put a closing PHP tag, and go in here and type in echo $_post, and then we have our square brackets inside there, 2 single quotes, F name, because that's a variable that we're looking for, and then we go on the other side of the square bracket, put 2 question marks. Whoops. Okay, that was a question mark for my closing PHP tag, and then 2 single quotes, and then the terminator. Now you know I could go in here and I could put not set, and that's just going to read not set, but I'd rather just read nothing because I don't want anything in there until something is in there. So I'm going to hit save, and let's go back to my form, and this time we will put Harley, and hit submit. And here you could see Harley's in there. So let's give that some structure, shall we? Let's put it in a P tag so it looks right. Remember in the last lesson we took the get variable and we stored it in a variable itself. So let's go ahead and type in $F name. That's going to be the variable. Now the equals also means set. So we're setting it to F name. And let's go inside this PHP tag, and then we'll type in echo, and then we'll have 2 single quotes, and in there we'll put our P tag, go outside the single quotes, concatenate with a period, $F name, concatenate with a period once more, 2 more single quotes, and inside there put the closing P tag, and then a terminator. So let's go ahead and save that. We'll go back to the My Form page, and we will put David in here. Hit submit. Now we have it all formatted with our P tags. Okay. So this is taking the post variable, whatever it is. You notice it's not in the URL up here, like in the get parameters. And it takes it and it reveals it on the page using the PHP7 syntax. Okay? Now let's go back to my form and let's give this some structure, shall we? Like we did in the last lesson. We're already using Bootstrap. So let's go in here and give us some Bootstrap coding. So div class, and do you remember the class for whenever we're doing rows and columns? You know, we want it to be side by side on the page. That would be row. Okay, and then we'll close out that div, and we'll take this div tag. Well, I'm going to hit Command X, and I'm going to put it right at the end here. And the whole reason for this is we're going to take this action, we're going to take this processing.php out of here because we're going to process it on the same page as my form, you know, myform.php. So let's div class of row. Let's go to the next one. Div class of column, and we want the small columns because they're 12 wide, so SM, and then we'll put -6. And once again, if you need more clarification, you can go to A1 Website Pro and look up Bootstrap. I got a bunch of tutorials on this. This is the grid system actually. So we're going to cut that div out there and put it after the form. We're going to go up here and copy this 6 columns, and after this div we're going to paste it in there, and then we're going to close out our div tag for 6 columns. And inside here we want to use our PHP7 way of displaying the whatever is put in F name here. So let's go to that processing. We can actually just grab this PHP tag, right click, copy my form, and then paste it right in here. All right, let's clean it up a little bit. Okay, so now the action is we're telling this to post to the exact same page, which is myform.php. So let me hit Command S, and let's go to myform.php. We'll hit enter or return so it refreshes the page. And let's put, well, I'll just go ahead and put my name in here, hit submit, and you can see that it appears over here on the right. So that's what the grid system does for you. Now, we were using functions before, and I wanted to revisit that because a function, let's say that we are having several people of the same family have the same last name, and so we created a function in an earlier lesson. Let me go ahead and double click this and open up the functions folder. If you scroll down here, you can see last name var. So I want to try to get you guys into using, PHP methods and stuff because of the fact that this is what you'll be doing on a live site, and you'll need to be able to understand this. So let's use the function of last name, which will put whatever name we put in that box, it'll turn into the variable, and then add McCullough on the end of it. So let's go ahead and go to my form, and down here, instead of echoing F name like this, we're going to go ahead inside here, just take this totally out. Oh, I'm going to leave the terminator on there. In fact, we'll just put this whole PHP on one line. Now we know the variable that we need is F name, so let's go down here and start another PHP tag just for reading purposes. Normally you'd have this all in one PHP tag, but let's type in last, L-A-S-T, camel case, name. And then the open and close parentheses, and inside here, no quotes, but we're going to put F name, just like so. All right, and then we are going to terminate that, close our PHP tag out, hit Command S, save that. Now what's that going to do? Let's see. Let's type in Faith. Notice it added McCullough on the end. So there's Harley McCullough, and then David. So I'm only entering the first name, and the function is putting in the last name for me. Okay? All right. Well, that's it. That's it for this lesson. So these are post variables, and I put a lot more in the post, some more code examples that you could go, and if you ever get lost, you need something real quick, you can go ahead and go to this post and grab what you need whenever you're doing that. I notice I have a correction to make here. But this is Max with A1 Website Pro. If you're liking and enjoying these lessons, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please comment in the box below or on the website, and I'll be glad to help you. Thanks. Bye.